Alright, hey guys, what is up? It is Elfalas here, bringing you a VOD of some competitive Overwatch. We got Northern Gaming versus NRG right here from the ASL Atlantic Showdown. Let me just quickly change this quality. Okay, it's at 480p. Might be a bit too much for my bandwidth to handle. We'll just leave it at this and let YouTube decide. Anyways, so right away, we got on the defensive side, I just wanted to note the Torbjorn and the Junkrat, two heroes we don't see quite as much in the competitive scene, though they're still viable, in my opinion. We're on Anubis, so Anubis is really, it's a really weird map. It's a 2-point map, so obviously if you take that first point in good time, you can snowball with ultimates and take the second point really quickly. So Northern Gaming really wants to delay this first point, doesn't want NRG to get all advantage over them. They want NRG to use a lot of ults to take this point. And that's basically the strategy you take on defense side. So they have a Torbjorn, which I think is an interesting pick. I think they'll actually move off of the Torbjorn when the second point gets activated, because I feel like Torbjorn's actually harder to play when you have less room to work with. But the point of the Torbjorn, though, is to just get the chip damage down, and then he's also going to give armor to his teammates once, a little bit of time has passed and he's able to collect some scraps. So that's going to be really important, I think. Just that extra bit of tankiness is pretty good. He does a fair amount of damage, especially once he hits his ult. He's an absolute madman, but before that, he's kind of weak. His shots are obviously very important. He's got his turret placed on the left side stairs, going into that room that I forget the name of, but you'll see it soon enough. On NRG's side, they picked up the Genji, which doesn't surprise me at all. I think Genji is actually pretty good on this map. Seagull's playing it, so no surprise there. They also have a Winston coming in instead of Reinhardt. I think that's totally awesome. Like, Reinhardt's really hard to play on Anubis. I really don't think Reinhardt does that great here. He does great on a lot of maps, but not quite so much on Anubis, because on Anubis right away there's that height differential where the defenders have this kind of plaza to hang on to, and there's no way for a Reinhardt to get an ult onto that or get charge onto that. You just have to go around the side, and I feel like Reinhardt's not quite as good as doing that kind of dealio. So I like that they picked up a Winston who can instantly negate that height advantage by jumping onto the defenders on top of that little rise. I don't know what to call it. And then he can plop his shield down and start wrecking face with his little monkey thing. But anyways, moving on. We got the game starting right away. So I am curious to see how Seagull plays this Genji. I don't, it's always a treat to see a Genji in professional games, in my opinion. But right away, you see this Diva Winston combo getting right on top, and I think that's great. But whew, that Zenyatta does a lot of work. So Torbjorn, they immediately back off, basically, off the bridge as soon as Winston and Reinhardt go in. Sorry, not Winston and Diva go in. But they immediately kill Winston, which shuts down that push, which is really important. Ooh, but Seagull takes out, who was it? Their Zenyatta? Yeah, it was that Zenyatta. That's really important. See, the one thing I'm really curious about is the Junkrat, because Northern Gaming played the Junkrat on King's Row on the first point at the last game, and it didn't work out super great. I thought actually it worked out fine. They managed to take a lot of time, but I'm not sure what the Junkrat's specifically so good at now. I assume they're probably gonna switch off of it. Maybe not though. It looks like they're not. I'm not entirely. Oh wow. Okay. See, this is the thing about 2 CP maps, though, is that you just get these really fast games where ultimates are snowballed, and I don't have time to think. Okay, so the Junkrat is going to be really good at spamming the side door. I call them the catacombs, but I'm not sure what the actual call it is. But it's that little area over on this side. It's kind of built into the wall where you can flank through. A Junkrat is good at controlling that. I'm not sure what the Torbjorn's exact role in here is, because I feel like his turret doesn't give you quite as much value in this on this point, because it has much less room to fire at people. At the same time, you still do get that nice body shot damage, and you get the armor and all the other benefits of Torbjorn. So that's probably why Northern Gaming's taking him right here instead of a separate DPS like a Reaper. I think a Reaper would be cool here, or maybe a Roadhog or something. I don't know. Anyways, on NRG side though, I really like that Diva Winston combo. It kind of, well, it's really reminiscent of the Twinston combo we used to see a lot, especially from Cloud9 with no hero limits. You'd see double Winston all the time. And Diva kind of just takes that place of a second Winston. Actually, Diva's kind of better than Winston right now, so Winston's kind of taking the place of a second Diva right now. But it's that same combo where you jump in with both of them, plop down shields, and your team just follows up with the Lucio speed boost and maybe a Transcendence if you have it up. So, Energy's going to come in again with a nice thing. I think they're just going to straight up engage. There's not going to be any poke or anything. I think they'll just go straight up through the middle with Winston and Diva. I think that's the proper way to do it too. You can follow up pretty much immediately with Lucio, and you can get your Zenyatta and McCree into a good position. Oh, Energy did switch off Winston though. And they're pushing up through this side corridor. But that's just making it really easy for Junkrat though. Oh no. Is Northern Gaming? No. Yeah, Northern Gaming did switch off the Junkrat now. They're on Winston instead. So I was going to say, that makes it really easy for Junkrat to get in there. But no, I think if they're not going to play Junkrat, I think they should switch off Torbjorn and pick up a Reaper. So I feel like you do want that kind of guy who can go in there and wipe the team in a quarter. Okay, holy cow, that was a lot of damage coming in from Torbjorn. Where did he put his turret? Is that all his gun? I think it might just be his gun. His turret's way in the back, not doing much. This is what it looks like to me. So anyways, the reason I want to see a Reaper though instead of Torbjorn, despite the fact that Torbjorn just totally carried this fight, I actually feel like a Reaper would have carried this fight harder. Because one of the reasons I think Junkrat is at least viable on this second point is because you can get a nice Riptire and just throw it into that little area and boom, instant team wipe. Because you can come around from behind spawn area. Now obviously the easy counterplay to that is, well, Energy will just focus on the Junkrat immediately. So that's why I don't think Junkrat's amazing, but at least he's viable. Like you could still get that Junkrat, and if it hits, if it lands, it's gonna, you just kill the entire enemy team with one ultimate. But like, if you get a Reaper in there, he kind of fulfills the same role. He just goes in there and controls this flank, and it makes it really hard for the enemy team to push up through here. And so when you have a Torbjorn, I don't feel like Torbjorn really does that much. Like, obviously he just totally did a ton of damage in that fight, but I don't know, like, yeah, I just think a Reaper would be better, though. I feel like he'd fulfill a similar role. Obviously he doesn't give out free tankiness to his teammates, but I don't know, maybe I'm underestimating the power of Torbjorn's utility. Yeah, so Seagull switches to the Reaper. I like that. I mean, the Reaper is really good on the second point just because you get these really close, tight quarters where you can, you know, clean up people really easily. That's probably going to be the point. Yep, there it is. So yeah, you can see as soon as NRG switches to Seagull and tries the opposite side, I mean, they just rush right through the point. It's, you know, it just seems so weird to me that Northern Gaming didn't pick up a Reaper. Alright, skip ahead a bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Northern Gaming running a Winston Diva combo. I wish they are. So Energy's running Winston Reinhardt on defense, which I'm okay with. I'll allow it. I feel like Diva might be a bit better though. I can't say for sure though. I do think the Diva would be better. Because, well, I get the point of the Winston. The point of the Winston is to dive into the backline and, like, insta-gib, like, a support, like a Zenyatta. I think they're expecting a Zenyatta. And Winston can easily gib a Zenyatta, but at the same time, Diva... I don't know. Diva can almost insta-gib a Zenyatta, though. Either way, we're coming in here. This far is doing a lot of work. I don't, like, since... The Winston's actually better because they're right now because Northern Gaming decided to run Lucio Mercy, but at the same time they're just running through this point. Wow. So there is no ultimates on either side, which is kind of crazy. But this far, oh, okay, they take out the Mercy, which is actually pretty big. So that picks down. Northern Gaming is going to have to back out off of this. Mangachu did get his ultimate there, which is, I think, what he wanted. Staying in there for a little bit longer. I mean, the Pharah Mercy can work out if because there's only McCree on NRG. Now, McCree is better than Soldier for taking out Pharah, but at the same time, it's like Pharah is bad when you run like Soldier McCree. Like if you're running Soldier McCree, Pharah is just legit really bad. Sorry, I forgot about Zenyatta there, but wow, Seagull just murdered that offense. That was a really aggressive engage from the defense, though. Like, they went straight through mid. That's the crazy thing. It's not something you expect as Northern Gaming, but it makes a lot of sense, because you saw, if you look a little bit earlier, you see Pharah up in the sky. I mean, Milo is positioning really aggressively right here. And so as soon as they see Pharah down there, they see, like, 3 people piling in. It's like Milo's pushing up right here along with Seagull, and they have that least USB boost to get them right in there, right on the side. The one thing I don't get is Genji. I don't think Genji's been working out on this second point. Again, Northern Gaming is not running a Reaper at all, which I'm really surprised by. I just feel like Reaper's really, really strong on Anubis. So they're trying the exact same thing that NRG did, going around this side. Wow. Let me pause real quick. So Mercy does have her ultimate, so I think this will go to Northern Gaming right here. They got a nice early pick. They only lost their Winston. And there comes the res. So I think this will be Northern Gaming's point. Unless Seagull can come in. Yeah, there's no way. It was like, unless Seagull manages to get an insane ultimate, which is super unlikely, you know. But yeah, Pooks is doing really good to delay right here. He's managing to get, and that's a really good contest. Wow. And the Tracer is coming out from Gods along with Milo's Diva. And again, they're just managing to take off a lot of time off the clock, but I still think Northern Gaming will win in time. I don't remember. It's that overtime, though, that, like, once it's gone for 20 seconds, it... Yep. So Northern Gaming wins that one. Oh, wait, do they do a second round? Oh yes, competitive rules. I forgot about that. I was already counting out NRG. But no, they're still alive. But that was really close, though. Northern Gaming only has a 35-second lead, which is important. That could win. That could be the difference between winning and losing right here in not in overtime, but in the second set. But at the same time, NRG could quite easily win. So again, Northern Gaming is running the Torbjorn, but instead the Junkrat, they switch off to a Reaper. I'm so happy about this. They are running a Reinhardt. Reinhardt on this first point, which is what NRG was running last time. I think the Reinhardt's fine. Like, I don't see any issues with that. So we'll just have to see how it goes, though. See, Reinhardt on defense is better because you can sit on top. You know, you have the high ground, and Reinhardt on high ground is really scary because you can always drop down. Reinhardt on attack, though, on Anubis on this first point, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. So Milo is picking it up. NRG's picking up Zarya as well. I actually get why they're doing this, because Zarya and Reinhardt are so important on this second point to take it. If they come in, then and I think Northern Gaming's misplaying this. They're playing super aggressively, but the thing is, they're just feeding ult charge, I think, to NRG. And they literally just gave NRG a chance to take this point without using ultimates. Turns down. Oh, wow. NRG played that way too aggressively. Okay, so here's what happens. Basically, NRG's team comp is all about taking this first point without using any ultimates, and then getting straight onto the second point and taking it with all the ultimates, right? So they have Gods on Widowmaker basically so they can get a pick and open up this point, because there's no way they can open this point without getting a miracle pick. So all Northern Gaming has to do is play right here on this bridge. They have the perfect team comp to play right on that bridge and stall NRG, and they could easily take like a minute and a half or 2 minutes off the clock right here. And NRG would probably be forced to use their ultimates to take this first point, which would be absolutely horrible for their strategy, as long as they play around their Reinhardt shield well. But then they go super aggressive, and I don't know why. I honestly don't get why they went all the way up. And it just gives Milo this easy entrance onto, you know, the point. There's nothing they can do. Gods is, you know, sitting on the back taking pot shots. They're going to lose this point. Sorry, I just broke my mic. Anyways, there still isn't much ult charge on Milo or Enigma, but at the same time, they're going to have them up really quick. And Seagull's already got a really good amount of charge. I'd assume Gods is going to switch fairly soon here. Since they don't have ultimates, they're going to try and get another pick with Widow until, basically until they get ultimate onto Zarya. They're probably going to stick with the Widow just to find that pick, you know. Because if they do get a good Widow pick here, it would really open up the point. Milo does have his ultimate now too, which is really important. Wow. There it is. I mean, Gods isn't going to be doing much here, but they got ults now on NRG. They're going to kill Northern Gaming. The mate comes out for the stall. It might actually be good, though. I don't know. Alright, well, Neo's trying to kill Gods here. Oh, but Gods takes him out. That's really important. Whew. Wow. Northern Gaming completely screwed themselves. I'm sorry, they just went way too aggressive on that first point. They pushed through the first arch. That was so bad. They lost this second point on that first point. They pushed up with the Torbjorn too. It's like they don't even have any backup. Like, I really don't understand that at all. That was so bad. Anyways, we're gonna have to see what Northern Gaming does for this offense. So it's gonna have to be pretty dang brilliant. Because if NRG doesn't make the same mistake, honestly, they could push Northern Gaming out of time. Like, there's a very real chance Northern Gaming won't be able to take both points if NRG plays this really well. Anyway, so Northern Gaming is running. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Okay, so Northern Gaming is running a Roadhog and a Reinhardt. Again, I'm still not a huge fan of the Reinhardt. I'm not convinced of the Reinhardt on attack. I only think it worked last time for NRG because Northern Gaming played really stupidly. But we do have the defensive Genji, which could be interesting. Gotta be really careful of the Roadhog. Yeah, there it is. That was some really aggressive positioning, but now, see, here's the thing though. Now Northern Gaming has the high ground, so that was actually a really good push through. But this is going to be a big fight here, and I think, yeah, I think NRG has the positioning to win this. I think that drop down happened a little bit too early. Neo's doing a lot of work here. Whew. I counted Northern Gaming out a bit too early. Let's kind of want to watch that again. Shoot, what did I just do? Okay, well, awkward. Anyways, moving back a little bit. Alright, so I'm not entirely sure about that Seagull play right there. He probably should have just kept himself hidden, in my opinion. So the drop down did happen from Northern Gaming. I think, again, I do think it was a little bit early, but at the same time, NRG's down a dude, and they don't want to wait too long. Otherwise, Seagull's going to come back, probably not on Genji. But at the same time, I don't know. That man disadvantage was just a bit too much for NRG to handle. The thing I am worried about, though, is Neo has his Dragon Blade now, so that could be really important for taking the second point fast. There it is. Oh, that's 3 kills. Okay, that's that's definitely gonna be the point. Oof. I think NRG got a little bit greedy there on the first point by taking Genji and placing so aggressively. If they had picked someone else, or if Seagull hadn't died so fast, like I'm not sure if it's so much the Genji pick as it was the fact that Seagull just got killed right away. Um, there's just he should have just stayed hidden. Really, like the only reason they knew Northern Gaming knew he was there is because he started attacking them with his auto attacks. Wow. Okay. And as I'm talking, Northern Gaming gets taken off the point, which I didn't see how that happened. So, yay. They're going through the left side. They're gonna have speed boost. They have the sound barrier and transcendence, but that's all. Sound barrier and chance on both sides, actually. Doesn't manage to break. They don't manage to break the Reinhardt shield in time, but they do kill the Reinhardt right afterwards. They already have second check mark on the cap counter, whatever it's called. So now it's just Pooks trying to hold, but I love that right, little Lucio cheeky play that you can do. You just bounce around on the top there. That was so close, dude. Alright. Skip ahead a little bit. Alright. Northern Gaming, they also are going with the Genji here. I hope they played a little bit differently though. I think Northern Gaming is gonna play this first point pretty aggressively because they have the Genji. I don't think you pick Genji on defense unless you're really gonna push it and try and get the enemy back into their spawn room basically. Alright. So they get through to the side. There's everyone. Alright. So Northern Gaming is set up on the bridge, but I think they're gonna drop off. Neo's on the side though. I think Neo should have maybe been going behind to try and pick off straggler. There was someone behind there that I didn't see. But NRG does get away cleanly. They don't lose anyone. But that's not really what NRG wants to be doing right now. They don't want to be running away. They want to be continuing to push. But they're trying the exact same thing that Northern Gaming tried. But Neo's going to try and head them off right here. Get some poke damage down. They're dropping down. Oh, yeah, this could be dangerous. This is a pretty good play from Neo, but it's not going to do much. The tanks had dropped down first, so Neo tried to go onto the back line. Yeah, but what I like there is that NRG's DPS is staying up on the high ground. Really, really high up. Whereas the tanks drop down first. I don't think Northern Gaming did that, but they still had the point. They have one push. Yeah, that's pretty dangerous. Oof. Oh, rip. Okay, they did take out the Reaper there. Wow, that's actually insane. Wow. Holy cow, dude. That was actually an insane take. There's no ult on either side. Sorry, there is ult. There is. So, Ned has his ult. Chance has his ult. Dummy's got his ult. And Seagull's got his ult. Going into this first push. So, Chance uses it right away. And they're really trying to get onto this Reinhardt. So, right now, Neo has a chance to get in here and kill people. But it looks like God's managed to flashbang him before he really did any big damage. Then Dumb uses his ult, like, boom, right there to save Milo. Make sure he doesn't die. They managed to take out whoever's playing Lucio on Northern Gaming. I can't see his name. Wow. Wow. It's just like everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. I mean, Torb managed to take out Gods there at the end, but that's, wow, that wasn't, that was just crazy. Their last offense has been done, and now it is up to the side of Northern Gaming and whether or not they will be able to cap it in less than 2 minutes and 11 seconds and over 10 procs, and it will be a tie, and there will be no final attempt from Northern Gaming. However, if Northern Gaming is able to take it in less than 2 minutes, they will engage in a final attempt. Northern Gaming will be getting to you about the stream or Northern Gaming. They're done. Exact conversions. Alright, so NRG is going to have a sick defense here, because they basically are trying their hardest to stop Northern Gaming from getting the second point. There's going to be no extra time giving to Northern Gaming, though, if they do cap this first one, just like NRG had last round. It's going to be really important that they hold this first point for as long as possible, so that there's no chance of Northern Gaming taking the second point. Wow. I actually love this setup from NRG. They're just like right, they're all sitting right there. Oh my goodness. I actually think that's hilarious. They're just brawling up in this top room. Dang. That was, wow, really fast. How many people did they have up there? That's the big thing from NRG. How many people did NRG put up on that top spot? So it looks like they just had Lucio, Winston, and Milo Reinhardt. So where's Reaper? That's the big question. Okay, Reaper's up there too. So where's Gods? Oh, they're all up there. Okay, they were just out of vision there for a second. I see. Okay. So everyone was up there except for Dummy, but looks like it was all. So, I think the Roadhog actually might have been pretty big here for Northern Gaming, because in that close quarters, Roadhog's going to do a lot of damage, especially to Winston. Alright, so we're moving on to the next point. There's a minute 20 on this on the clock there for Northern Gaming. So this is a good amount of time. They might be able to take this very quick. Wow. What is this, dude? They get the flashbang, and then immediately they're able to take a really nice Earth Shatter. Here's the thing. There's no way that NRG will be able to stall out long enough to go into overtime. So they have to try and fight this point. Otherwise, it's gonna go on to another round. But it's so hard, even with the spawn advantage they have. They just don't have the ultimates, or they don't have the grouping, you know. This is so hard to hold that first point for 2 minutes. Like in the past 3 rounds, the first point's always been taking them like 30 to 45 seconds. They're gonna, like, NRG's gonna have to come up with a really great strategy here. I have no idea what they're gonna play. Alright, here it comes. I don't think Northern Game is going to go for the same strategy. They are. I guess it's like that was nice. I really like that aggressive play from NRG right there. They got the flashbang, it looked like, over the bridge. Wow. That was really nice. Actually, that setup was really good right there. Because it protects them from basically any kind of strategy. They can see if Northern Gaming tries to run onto this side of the map, right? If they try to run through there, they'll see it. And if they go through here, obviously, they're ready to counter that right away. As you can see, there's a flashbang coming right, and it kills Wolf instantly. And then they can just run through and murder the rest of Northern Gaming. So that was a really good play. They're going to have ultimate charge for this next time. They only have to stall for, like, a minute or so, because it's going to, or maybe not a minute, maybe like a minute 15. Because it's going to take a bit for Northern Gaming to regroup and get back into a position where they can push. So it'll be like 15-20 seconds to do that. Get Wolves down, that's really important. Oh, that Deadeye is so important. Jeez. Holy cow. Like, this is really hard to examine because all these ults are coming up in the middle of the fight, so it's more coming down to personal play here rather than like some kind of overarching team strategy. And I don't really want to go in and analyze each individual during this game, so it'd just be really long. Suffice to say, I think like a lot of people are just popping off, you know, like I think Gods though for sure is like the big savior for NRG. He got a really good Deadeye onto Pharah, which is basically what they needed. There's the overtime. That's so important, that ult. He's stuck in the thing. Okay, yeah, this is probably going to be the point for Northern Gaming. That resurrect is really important. There it goes. That's the game for Northern Gaming. Wow. Ooh, that was an absolutely crazy game. So much back and forth. Let's watch this play of the game, though.
Northern Gaming representative right now in the Overwatch scene, still alive and not on match point. NRG, if they would have taken this, they would have been on match point in the breathing room that gaming fans can feel and play.
Alright, so to sum up that game, basically, um, that first point was taken a lot quicker every single time than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be much bigger contest on that first point, but that one strategy we run through the top room ended up being used like 4 times or something. I think NRG had a really smart counter to it at the end where they set up on the bridge and jumped over. It bought them a lot of time right at the beginning, but um, Northern Gaming adapted pretty well. They picked up the Pharah right away after that, and the Pharah really opened up that point for them, especially with the Mercy combo. I think that actually goes to show that the Mercy Pharah combo isn't quite down for the count yet. It may not be the most optimal thing all the time, but it certainly still has its niche, and it really was able to open up that point for Northern Gaming there on that kind of sudden death round. Uh, that's all I got to really say about that game. It was really fun to watch, and I hope you enjoyed this VOD review. If you liked it, you can go ahead and like and subscribe. If not, then leave a comment flaming me. Don't really care. Have a good one.